If you were asked to give a fun fact to someone you just met, what would it be?
I've always used the fun fact of I have 7 siblings in my family.
That I have 7 brothers and sisters, or that I am the oldest of 8 siblings.
So if I could have any superpower, what would it be? No, well, honestly, I think I would say that I'm one of 8 kids.
Okay, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a boy and a girl who met at college. There was a coffee house open mic event at their school, and the boy kept making the girl laugh by doing a fake British accent. Well, the rest was history. And, as you know, when two people love each other very much, they have babies. So then, before they knew it, they had a son named Jack. Okay, I'd say that's pretty normal. And then they had a daughter named Katie. Yeah, that's normal. Alright. Then they had a son named Matt. Sounds good. Then they had a daughter named Anna. Okay, yeah, that's a good amount. Then they had a daughter named Emily. Okay, I think that's probably enough. Then they had a daughter named Maggie. Well, now you've definitely gone too far. Then they had a son named Patrick. Okay, that's good. And then they had a son named Michael. Alright, I think that's enough now. Then they had... No, I'm just kidding. That's it. But kinda crazy, right? 8 children in a span of 15 years. Being a member of a large family has always been an important part of my identity, and it has given me many blessings. Yet sometimes I wonder if it made me less close with some of my older siblings. We've always thought of ourselves in terms of the older 4 and the younger 4. And in a way, this divide makes sense. The older 4 had completely different childhoods, always preoccupied with younger siblings. But as a member of the younger 4, I never really had the responsibility of babysitting. I often find myself curious about my older siblings' childhoods, because some of them were so far removed from my own, so I wanted to explore that idea more. I reached out to some of my older siblings, Jack, Katie, and Matt, to get their perspectives on how their childhoods differed from mine. As I mentioned, the older 4 definitely had more responsibility.
It was different when we were growing up in the sense that like we were maybe like given a little bit more responsibility at like younger ages just because we were always seen as the older ones. Not even me specifically, but like all the 4 of us. And then when you guys were like the same age as we would have been, you were almost treated as younger because you were the younger ones.
In terms of watching over little siblings or taking people to extracurricular activities, I guess there would be a difference, because I remember I did a ton of that as soon as I had my driver's license. I was just driving everybody to their activities.
When I asked my mom about the older 4's responsibility, she said it brought them closer to us.
They had a close relationship of caretaking with the younger kids, because that often builds a close bond when you take care of somebody else. They were able to be the person who held the baby, played with the kids, took them for walks, often made their lunches, babysat for them for like doctor trips that I had to go to or errands that had to be run. That brought them actually in, I think, a closer relationship.
As to be expected, the house was a lot more chaotic growing up for them.
One of the main differences between when I was growing up and when you guys were growing up is just how much quieter the house was. coming home and, it was only like 5 of you guys there or something like that. And I'd be like, man, it feels like really quiet here. Like there's like, or it feels really empty. Like, where is everybody? And like to a normal family, like 5 kids or even 4 kids and 2 parents is like, that's big. So the idea that like that felt quiet and empty is really funny.
My dad agreed with this sentiment.
I say it's just a calmer setting for the younger 4, and the older 4 probably had a little bit of a crazier experience, just with so many babies around all the time.
Things as simple as inviting your friends over to your house became complicated when you have that many younger siblings.
My friend Austin from high school being like, how there's just like people like crawling out of everywhere, because when we'd be like at the table and just like more and more people they would see like come in the kitchen and they're just like crawling like out of like eyes like poking behind things and like crawling out of the woodwork.
Having such a large age gap between siblings made for interesting relationships.
It's very like a maternal bond almost. And then with like Jackie, Matt, and Anna, it's like more like a friend bond. Like, so it's kind of cool having both, and I've always like really liked that actually.
Yet this gap has actually lessened over time.
We couldn't really relate to you in the same way that we could relate to each other, so we haven't until recently. I feel like within like the past 5 years, we've been able to like connect with you guys better when we hang out, just because you're grown up now.
So yes, fun fact, I do have 7 siblings. And yes, some of them are quite a bit older than me. But that's just a part of what makes my family so special.